Good morning, welcome back to another day in the life of a third grade teacher. I am going to be putting you guys down immediately today. I just wanted to say hi and let you guys know what this video is about. But I'm going to be showing you guys a bunch of different stuff, but school's about to start and I have to kind of get going. But welcome, and I will pick you guys back up probably at recess and show you a couple of things that I just made, including this chart for later. Alright guys, it is now recess and we are just about to do our first academic vocabulary notes, and so I wanted to show you guys what those look like before I did it with the students. So we are an Avid elementary school, which means we use Avid strategies, and one of those strategies is 3-column notes. So for most things, that ends up being the first column is the word, the second column is the definition, and then the third column is a picture to help reinforce that definition for them. So this is all I have right now. The students will get a piece of paper, they're going to meet me in our living room area, and we are going to decide a definition together, and then they will be able to come up with a picture. So I just wanted to show you guys what this looked like before I did it with them, and I will show you what it looks like again afterwards. Alright friends, it is lunchtime now, so I wanted to give you guys an update on how the 3-column notes went that we did on the math vocab. So this is what it ended up looking like. Don't mind my big old mistake over here. I had to white it out because the size of the whiteout is the size that I made the array, and then realized you would not be able to see it on the wall. So these are the definitions that we came up with together. I took the kids' ideas and kind of made it a little bit more academic so that it would make a little bit more sense. And then they came up with the examples with me. And then they wrote down an identical version, and then we put it in their Avid binder. I usually do this before we do any lessons, but to be totally honest, this is the first unit of the year and I forgot. So it was when I was looking at our lesson for today that I realized they would need to know what the word quotient meant, and we hadn't gone over that yet, and I was like, wait a second, I forgot to do the academic vocab. So usually I'll do this before we start a new unit so that any words that we're going to be using for either that unit or the first couple topics we'll go over so that they have that information that they need. So I don't usually do this many at a time, but it's a short unit. So next unit, depending on how many words there are, we might do like 4 or 5, and then a couple, lessons or topics later, we'll do more as they come up. So that's what we have for now. If you're wondering where these words came from, actually I'll just walk you guys over and show you. Don't mind the mess. Also, with flexible seating, this is kind of what it looks like with the kids' stuff here. There's just kind of stuff everywhere, and that's okay. So in the Engage New York binder, just ripped that off. In the beginning, in the module overview, there is a lesson, not a lesson, a list of terminology. So these are all things they need to know, but things like equal groups, they have a pretty solid understanding of that, so I didn't feel like they needed to have that put on there. We haven't talked about distribute yet, so I'll save that for when we go over that one. Come on. Same with a bunch of these ones. Number of groups, I got that. Parentheses, they don't need that yet. Rotate, they don't need that one yet. Unit, they don't need that one yet. Unknown, we'll go over at the end of the module. So again, this is going over all of the things they'll need in the whole module, and this is how thick the module is. So if we need to, we will do more terms later, but I just tried to pick out the ones that I saw that they were kind of struggling with or that I knew would be brand new to them. Okay, then I want to share with you guys their Avid binders really quick because we just put something in them today. That's the lunch bell, so I have like 2 minutes until they line up. So each kid has an Avid binder. Inside of it, they have their pouch. Behind that, we just today put in this table of contents. So they all have the same color tabs, so we just created this as a team. Purple is the math, so we put our math notes behind there, and then all of our problem set packets. And then green is our goal setting. So far we have one paper in there that I'm going to flip and show you guys, but I'm going to cut this next part out so I can block out my student's name. Okay, so I have it flipped over. This paper is here because my student's name is right here. One of my coworkers found this page because now that we have our iReady diagnostics just about finished, and they're going to start probably tomorrow working on the lessons on there, I wanted to have something that incentivized it a little bit because iReady can be pretty dry and boring, but it's really helpful for them. So every time they pass a lesson, they can get out a crayon, colored pencil, or marker, and they can color in one box. If they pass it with 100%, then they can color a star. So like say they got 100%, they would color in both the 1 and 1 star. And yes, I do just trust that they're doing this correctly and they're not cheating, but I also have a way that I can look it up on my computer. So I told them if they get all, I don't even know how many stars there are, but if they get all the stars colored in, meaning they got, you know, that many 100%, then they'll get a prize. And that's for the whole entire year, and we work on this quite a bit. So they're pretty excited about that. And then on the back has a reading lessons tracker. So this just went in our goal setting tab, so they can keep track of that on their own. So I can hear them doing their little chant to get lined up. So I'm gonna put you guys down. I'll pick you guys back up again after school. Hello again. Welcome back to the end of the day. I'm gonna kind of brain dump on you guys because I just got out of a really long meeting, like 2.5 hours long, and it was amazing though. We learned a ton and we got a lot of stuff figured out for our small groups and our targeted instruction. So I'm really excited. This is the first time. I'm gonna put you guys down actually, I'm tired. Okay, that doesn't work. 1 second. That's much better. So on Wednesdays, our students get out a little bit more, like an hour and 5 minutes early. So we normally get out at 1:50. On Wednesdays, they get out at 12:45, and then the teachers have grade level collaboration until 3. So in that entire time today, we had our TOSA come and talk to us today and help us figure out a revised schedule that works so that we are hitting social studies and science, and then also have time for our UA, which is universal access, which today I learned the difference between just our tier 1 targeted small group and then UA. So UA is universal access for our Wonders ELA curriculum. Sorry, I'm like out of breath and I'm like super excited. This is the first time I've ever felt like I have a real plan. You know, I've always done small groups. I've always tried to help my students the best I could, but this is the first time that I have like everything broken down so rigidly, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to see the progress. Anyways, I'm probably gonna jump around a lot because that meeting was so long and my brain is like kind of fried, but I'm also really excited. So anyways, UA is universal access, which is basically you're gonna have leveled groups for the ELA instruction that you are already teaching. And then our tier 1 targeted small groups is going to be the holes that our students have in filling those gaps. So every student is going to get UA, and then only the students who are below the cut point that they should be for 3rd grade in reading is going to get small group instruction. When they are getting that small group instruction, the other students are going to be doing iReady lessons part of the time, and then part of the other time they're going to be doing silent reading. So basically how we determine that is one of our amazing TOSAs, which I keep saying TOSA. If you don't know what a TOSA is, it's a teacher on special assignment, which basically means a teacher who used to be in the classroom and who is now like a support staff for teachers. So sometimes they do PD, sometimes they do things like our TOSA is doing for us right now, which is helping us figure out our small group stuff. And she came the 1st and 2nd week of school, which was the last 2 weeks, and did oral reading fluency tests with every single 3rd grade student. We have 7 teachers, so that was a ton of students and saved us so much time. So thank you so much, Kim, if you're watching this, which you're probably not, but if you are amazing. So this is what it looks like for the first trimester for 3rd grade through Wonders. So it's basically a story that is on grade level. Students have 2 comprehension questions to ask at the bottom, and then we have to figure out how many words they read total, minus the errors, and that is their words correct per minute. And then not only do we have to have a certain words correct per minute based on the cut points for our grade level, but they also have to have a accuracy over, I think it's 96%, maybe it's 98%. So it's not just can they read the amount of words they're supposed to, but are they reading it correctly? Because as you know, if students are reading the words wrong, they're not going to understand what they're reading. And then there's also a section for prosody, so reading and phrases, pace, syntax, self-correction, and intonation. So the cut point for 3rd graders in the fall is 71 words correct per minute. So any student who was below, and there's like a little box for that right on here that tells you what it should be. So any student who was below that got a phonics screener. So this is also from our Wonders. Oh my gosh, why am I so out of breath? It's hard talking. So phonics screener has different tasks that students have to complete. They have to get at least 80% or more correct to move on to the next task. So say a student completes this task with 80%, this task with 80%, and then this task with 70%. Then this is the task that they need help on. This is the task that they are going to be working on. Before, when we did this, it was like, okay, so we know the student is in task 3, which is, it looks like short vowel patterns. it doesn't have the code on it, so I'll have to look that up later, but that's what it looks like based on the nonsense words. So before it was like, okay, cool, we know what they're struggling with, but where are the resources that we have to help them? And we have iReady, but if you use iReady, sometimes the resource library in there is very bare, or it'll say like, okay, this week work on them, you know, long E patterns. It's like, okay, well, where are the materials that I actually am going to pull to use? Because if I'm going to be doing a small group, I'm not going to just be making stuff up. And as teachers, we have a very small amount of time for prep. And so if we're having to make stuff up or go look for things, it's a lot. So I'm going to flip you guys around and stop talking and show you guys the amazing resource library that Artosa's created for us per task. My mind is just like blown. I could cry. I'm so happy because we actually have like something to go to help us pull specific resources for specific tasks, and then also to keep track of it for EMTs, which is an educational monitoring team. It's like the step before an IEP. Not necessarily. Actually, it's to make sure that those students who are struggling are monitored so that they don't fall through the cracks, and that if they are not making progress, that we are figuring out what's going on. So could totally have that wrong. I am not an EMT coordinator, but from what I understand, that's what it is. But it's really helpful. It's actually necessary to have, you know, data to show why they are in that EMT, and especially it's helpful for parents to see like exactly what they can do and then what they're struggling with, and it just makes the process a whole lot more data driven rather than just observation driven, which is what it should be. So I'm super excited. Anyways, I'm gonna show you guys what that document is. Okay, so I'm just holding my camera right now, so I apologize if this is a little shaky, but this is the instructional resource document that was shared with us that Artosa's made. So basically what they did is for each task, and you can see that in the left-hand column, they have pulled all the different resources from Wonders, iReady, FCRR, and then anything else, like there's something from Reading Rockets, Raz Kids, anything at all they could find that would go with that task. So task 1 is all about letters and sounds. It's grades K through 1, and we have all of these resources that are linked that we can just click on. So I'm just gonna randomly click on, I don't know why I'm doing that, this one. And it is going to pop up a PDF. Boom, there's the iReady lesson. I don't even have to go search for it and find it. It's already linked. Now I can just print this out and do this one with the students. The cool thing that they also did for us is they created this document. Nope, not that one. This one. So each teacher is going to keep track of the students in their targeted group. So any of the students that had to get that phonics screener is going to come into a small group with me. I will put their names here. This is the skills that they need to work on. So if there are students that are in different tasks, which undoubtedly there will be, I will have to create multiple charts of these because they will be doing different tasks. And then on the right-hand side, the instructional resources, I can just link in there the exact resources that were used each week so that I can keep track for, again, EMTs, parent conferences, you know, just to keep track for myself of which lessons we've done and which we haven't. So I know exactly what skills they have worked on. I know exactly what resources I have used. That way, if a student is not making progress, I can say, okay, here are all the things that I've done with them. This is everything that I've tried, and this is the progress that they have or have not made. So this is going to make my life so much easier. I'm so excited, and hopefully my kids make a lot of growth, and I can't wait to get started. Like, I want to start tomorrow. Okay, I also wanted to share this little chart with you guys. So these are the cut points straight from Wonders of what 3rd grade students should be at. The 50th percentile in the middle is what we expect. Anything greater is awesome. Anything below that, you know, need for targeted instruction. The thing I wanted to show you on this is the average weekly improvement. So for me, I was always thinking like, okay, I know they're below grade level, I know they need support, but I don't know exactly, you know, how much growth they're supposed to be making, what is acceptable, what is not making growth. And so Artosa shared this with us as well in a document that they should be making depending on which cut point they fall under. So if they're anywhere from 43 to 21, they should be making at least 0.8 words per minute. So, you know, around 1 word per minute per week. So the cycles that we're going to be doing for our targeted small group instruction are 6-week cycles. As I showed you guys, we are doing the oral reading fluency screener, and if they did below the 71 words per minute, then they got the phonics screener. In the third week, we are just going to be doing the phonics screener again. So we're not going to do the whole screener. Say they scored in task 4. Then for the 3-week phonics screener, I will start at task 3 because they've already had success with that. So we're going to start with something that they can do so they can feel successful, and then we'll see how much growth they've made. This is just a progress monitoring tool, and then at the 6-week mark, we're going to do both of these again. So see how much progress they made after 6 weeks of instruction, and this is where they should make that 1 word a week growth. Now, if they were in the 25th percentile, where they had anywhere from 70 to 44 words a minute, then they should be doing about 1.1 words a week. So around 6.6 words at the end of 6 weeks. Now, don't ask me what a sixth of a word is. I have no idea. That is just what I was told, and I'm saying it out loud, and I'm like, wait, what? So I will be double checking about that at our next meeting, but I'm really, really excited. Okay, one other thing that we did at our meeting today was we revised our 3rd grade schedule. So some of you asked me in a previous video about where we teach social studies and science. I'm assuming you had seen the old schedule on the whiteboard. That was from last year in one of my setup videos. And our schedule changes quite frequently because last year was our first year of adopting curriculum. So we were just kind of in survival mode trying to figure it out and fit things in where we could. And unfortunately, science was one of those things that we snuck in when we could do it. So a lot of times last year on Wednesdays, we have a 30-minute period from the end of lunch to them going home because we have that early release day. And so that is when we'd sneak in some mystery science, but it was not as regular as it should have been. So we revised our schedule today. So this is what our schedule is going to look like for now. This is a tentative schedule. So 7:30 is when we start school. We have about 15 minutes to do attendance, lunch count, ready for the day. Some people do morning choice. I was going to try that this year, but my class is so chatty that I am thinking that's a no. But one of my coworkers is doing a gratitude journal first thing in the morning. So she sent us this link that I will share with you guys that has a bunch of different writing prompts. And she said that she just puts it on her screen in the morning. They come in, she takes attendance, lunch count, they put their stuff away, and they get started on it, and it's quiet. So I'm going to try that tomorrow, actually. And then from 7:45 to 8:15, starting in September, so next week we have to figure out all of our UA groups. That is when we're going to do that UA. So they're going to be our Wonder Centers. So that's going to be the 5 different centers. One of them is going to be reading the decodable readers, not decodable, but the leveled readers with the teacher. Straight from our Wonders curriculum, and then the other 4 are going to be Wonders centers. So one might be grammar, spelling, comprehension, vocab. We haven't, fleshed all that out yet. We're going to do that next week, and then the first week of September we will start that. Right now we are doing our iReady diagnostic test during that time, and then we have PE 8:15 to 8:45 every day except for Wednesday. Grammar and spelling is the 15 minutes from 8:45 to 9. Then at 9 o'clock to 9:40 is our SAI pullout time. So we don't have any SAI students right now, but that is something that we have to keep sacred because there might be if we get a new student, so or if they get identified. So right now it's our small group tier 1 targeted groups. So that is what I told you guys when we are going to be doing all of this work, the links that I just shared with you guys. And then the students who are not getting the targeted small group that they don't, because they don't need it, they are going to be doing iReady math and silent reading. So we're going to have time for 2 20-minute groups every single day. Then 9:40 to 9:55 is our recess. 9:55 to 10:30 we do math, fluency, vocab, and then our application problem from Engage New York. 10:30 to 11:30 is our concept development. So I shared with you guys before that we do the Zern model. So I'm in small group technically every day where I do half my class in a lesson with me while the other half is working on Zern, and then they switch. And then we do an exit ticket at the end. 11:30 to 12:10 is lunch, and then 12:10 to 1 is when we do the rest of our ELA. So that's all of our anthology reading, our your turn practice book, our race responses, our writing, and that is just our writing for like in response to our reading. So then 1 to 1:40, 2 days we're going to do the process writing. For example, this unit we are doing a narrative friendly letter. And then 2 days will be mystery science. And then 1:40 to 1:50, we clean up and go home. And if you're wondering where our social studies is, it is embedded into our ELA curriculum. Wednesdays, 12:10 to 12:45, we're gonna do mystery science still. And then Fridays, from 1 to 1:40, we do art. So I feel so much better now that we have our whole schedule fleshed out and we know that we have everything that we need and that we're going to be hitting all of our small groups, all of our writing, because the process writing really fell to the wayside last year when we were still trying to figure out what to do with wonders. That's the one thing that kind of, if there wasn't time, there wasn't time. And I'm just really excited. So that is our schedule. I'm gonna leave this link down below in the description box so that you guys can use these too if you want to, but this is the gratitude prompts that I was telling you guys about. So each morning I will just type one up. I might even just make this like a slide, like maybe tonight or something, make a Google slide that each slide has one of the prompts. That way I don't have to try to hurry up and type it before they come in the morning. I can just put on the next slide and have it bookmarked on my screen. But they're really simple. Tell about a time you were grateful for something a friend did for you, someone helped you find something that was lost, something you've learned this week, a pet you're grateful for, blah, blah, blah. One of my coworkers, when we were talking about this in our meeting just now, said, no room to be hateful when you're grateful, or something along that line. And I really liked that. So getting them in a positive mindset and reflecting on the things that they are grateful for, I think is really powerful and important, and gets them writing too. So I'm pretty excited about that. And then this is the last thing that I'm going to share with you guys today, because it is almost 4 o'clock, which is like an hour and 10 minutes after my contract time, and I'm tired and ready to go home. But anyways, this is a iReady diagnostic data tracking sheet to have students celebrate their successes and then also know where they have an opportunity for growth. So I'm going to zoom in on the top part. So once all of my students finish their diagnostic, which they're almost there, I will fill in this top part for them. So we've done diagnostic 1. I will tell them their overall score and their placement level, talk about the growth goal for the year, and then their stretch growth. So if you don't use iReady, this one is what is expected to happen. This is like best case scenario if they go above and beyond. And the next box is specific to the different domains that are within the math diagnostic. And then I really love this next part, the celebrations and opportunity for growth. So I want this to be something where they're like, oh my gosh, you know, I scored in grade level 1 or 2 or whatever. I want this to be like, hey, you did awesome with this. I'm really proud of you for this. This is where we need to focus on. And, you know, next time we look at our scores, maybe this will be a celebration. It's really valuable to talk to kids about their test scores and giving them feedback and an opportunity to see what they did well and even what they didn't do well, so that when they do make that growth, they can celebrate it. And the back side is the same thing, but just for reading. And then of course the domains are different because these are the ELA domains. So I have quite a bit of work to do once they finish their diagnostics, but that's okay. I'm even, you know what, actually, now that I'm thinking out loud, I was going to print out their iReady PDF from their diagnostic scores. So what I could do is I could print it out, you know, back to back with reading and math, and then I could go over this with them together, like just do a practice one or maybe one from last year and then just cover the name to show them like, oh, this is where you find your overall score, this is where you find your placement level, and walk them through it. And then that way they can take that home still, and they could do it instead of me spending 5 hours doing it for them. Not really 5 hours, but you know what I mean. And then it's giving them an extra opportunity to look at their data. The only reason that makes me nervous is I don't want them to be looking at their neighbor and comparing scores. So maybe we'll try it. We'll talk about it first. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'll keep you guys posted on what I decide. But I just want to share this. I have no idea where this came from. The bottom of the paper says every lesson matters. And so I don't know if that's like a TPT store or a blog. My coworker shared this with us. So if you want to check there, every lesson matters. Thank you. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Okay, I am exhausted and I can't think. I was in there listening to myself as I was talking. Even right now I'm doing it, and like I can't even form a full sentence because I'm so exhausted. You know when you have those meetings where it's just like so much information, it's just like this like dump session on you, and in a good way. Like I'm so happy and I'm super excited, but I'm just like, so tired. Like, I just want to go home and eat and chill, and that's it. I do want to say though, the reason that I decided to do this dump was because it's fresh right now, and I wanted to talk to you guys about everything that we just learned at this last meeting, especially if you are a new teacher or a new-ish teacher and you don't have this kind of support at your school. This is brand new to me, so I feel like every year before this I was just like, what am I doing with small groups? Like, it was something that literally would keep me up at night because I was like, I'm not doing enough for them. And even the stuff that I'm trying, like, I don't know if it's what I'm supposed to be trying, and I don't have any way to like keep track of it. And it was honestly like something that haunted me, as lame as that might sound. And so I hope that if you're a new teacher, that this gives you kind of like a jumping off point, or at least something that you can kind of look at and be like, okay, I'm in the right direction, or I can find stuff like that. And I'm definitely going to keep you guys updated on what my small groups are like and how the progress is going, and obviously not with specific students' names or whatever, but just kind of like how I'm feeling about it and what we're trying and what's working and what's not. And I hope that if you're a new teacher, you know that it really is this hard. We have such a hard job, and I feel like it's even harder than people realize. Like, I feel like sometimes people that I talk to and I tell them I'm a teacher, they're like, oh cool, like you get to just hang out with kids and like do addition problems. And I want to punch those people, because that is not at all what we do, and it's so much more involved in that. And we are expected to do everything. Like, there's so much to do, and so much writing on what we do and don't do, and the decisions we make and how we do it. And it's exhausting and scary, and I just want you to know that it feels like that for all of us, and that I feel 1,000 times more confident, 1,000 times of a better teacher than I did my first year. And it does get easier, it does get better, and just breathe and know that it's going to be okay, and that you're not the world's worst teacher, and you're not screwing up your kids, and they are still learning, and that there might be stuff that you're missing or that you're not doing, but that's okay. You'll get there, you'll learn it, and they will learn in spite of you. So don't beat yourself up, do the best you can. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. I don't know everything, I'm only a 4th year teacher, but I will find out for you if I don't know. Just know that it's going to be okay. You will survive your first year, your kids will survive your first year, and chances are they're going to have a great time. So that was my AC. So go easy on yourself, do the best you can, love your kids, focus on curriculum, try as hard as you can to help them learn, and then forgive yourself for the stuff that you're not doing. Seriously. Like, you are amazing. I believe in you. You're doing something crazy hard that you probably didn't realize was going to be this hard, and I'm so proud of you. So please, seriously, feel free to reach out to me. An Instagram DM is usually a better way than YouTube comments, because lately there's been a lot of them and I'm not able to keep up with them, but DMs I definitely do. So please reach out if you're struggling, and I'll find a way to help you if I can, or point you in the right direction if I can't. So that is just all I wanted to add to this. So I'm gonna get out of here now. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys soon for another video. Bye-bye. I just want to show you guys something real quick before I take off. We are supposed to leave at 2:50. Not supposed to leave, but that's our contract time, so we can leave at 2:50. And it's 4 o'clock. I wanted to organize the space. I'm leaving all this junk on my desk. My desk looks terrible. I'm supposed to go put those bags in the office, but no, I don't wanna. Some stuff fell off my wall earlier. Don't have the energy to find a tack to put it back up. Had no idea where I'm gonna put those bins. I completely need to reorganize this purple shelf, because the materials that I want to be there are not, and half that stuff I don't even use, so I need to just get rid of it. You can't even see half of it because it's covered by a trash can and an umbrella, even though it's like 110 degrees right now. This blue shelf is completely blocking my cabinet. I need to move that. No time. Swag tags, haven't used those since my first year, and haven't taken those down. Yeah, this is the state that I'm leaving in, because I'm exhausted and I've done more than enough today, and I need to just give myself grace that it's gonna be okay, everything will get done. But this is not on my priority list right now. Like, this just stresses me out that it's a mess, but I'm just gonna walk away. And I feel like a lot of times, maybe more on Instagram than here, I feel like here I try to show the real day-to-day stuff, but on Instagram I feel like myself and a lot of people, we just post, like, people talk about the highlight reel. You know, we talk about what went well, we talk about our classroom completely set up, we talk about things looking beautiful and perfect, and, you know, activities that went great. And you know, this wouldn't be a true day in the life of a teacher vlog if I didn't show you the messy, confusing, figuring out, working through stuff. And so if this is what your room looks like, that's okay, because so does mine. And even though I like a clean classroom and things being organized really helps keep me sane, that's not always the case. That's not always plausible. That's not always what happens. And so yes, this is awful looking. And I do have about 10,000 more things that I could stay and do. I could be here until 8 o'clock tonight and I still wouldn't have everything done. But you know what? There will be another day tomorrow and there will be 10,000 more things that I have to do. And in order for me to be a happy, healthy, sane, awesome teacher, I can't stay here till 8 o'clock every night. And I shouldn't expect myself to, because I have a life outside of teaching and this stuff can wait. So I just wanted to share that because I don't want anyone to look at this part of my classroom and be like, wow, she has it all together. Look at her beautiful classroom. I can't do that, because you know what? This took 4 years to get like this and I'm still making changes and it's still not perfect. And yeah, it's pretty, but there are still things that I could change. And I still have this that stresses me out that I'm not done with. And that's okay. So I'm exhausted right now. And I don't even know if that made sense. That was probably a big old ramble. But I just want you to know, if you're out there comparing yourself to people online that you're watching, don't. Because this is the behind the scenes stuff that doesn't get shared, that is like the ugly, raw, real, messy part of teaching that I think oftentimes we don't want to share, because, not because we want to make ourselves look perfect, but I think because we're scared of being judged. You know, like people put out the perfect stuff because they want people to think that they're awesome, and they're afraid that people are going to be like, oh my gosh, why doesn't she have this all figured out? And so that's okay. I'm a human being and I'm doing the best I can, and that is all I can expect of myself. So with that, I'm out.